What's up, you lazy, entitled, basement-dwelling millennials, bootstrapping boomers, apathetic Xers, and goddamn Gen Z kids today? Today we're talking about the poetry of the proletariat. We have an incredible content creator here named Robert Arnold, Defiant13 on TikTok. I think it's Robert Arnold on YouTube. And he really kind of hit the scene pretty big, in a big way at least, earlier this year around February. Giving nuance. I call it poetry. We were talking a little earlier, and he doesn't like to call it poetry, but very poetic, waxing about the woes of our society. So, Robert, thank you so much for being here, and
Hey, thank
tell us
y'all.
where you, yeah, tell us where you're from, what you do, how you got into doing this.
Sure. So I'm from Helena, Arkansas, which is I'm sure you've all heard of it. It's just south of Memphis, a very very small town, farm town, Mississippi River Delta. We are officially the home of the blues. In case anybody's wondering, that's where it started.
Arkansas is the home of the blues.
Helena, Arkansas. There's a fight between Helena, Arkansas and Clarksdale, Mississippi. They are very close together, but you know, if you could jump the river, you'd be right there in the other one. So it's there's some contention, I would say. There's an old story about Robert Johnson selling his soul to the devil at the crossroads. That's 20 minutes from my hometown down the road. That would be the cotton fields between Clarksdale and Helena would be where they say the blues is officially from. But Helena had a recording studio, so that's where they did all the early
Well,
recording.
I mean, I don't know. I may have to give it to Mississippi just on the fact that I have a conspiracy theory that Arkansas is not a real place
Sure, yeah,
because
makes sense. Absolutely. Why would it
I,
be?
I've driven all over this country, and I'm pretty sure I've driven through Arkansas. Like, I can kind of picture the "Welcome to Arkansas" sign, but I have no recollection of ever being inside the state of Arkansas. And it's like we talk about, like, I'm a huge history buff. We talk about like the Civil War and slavery and the segregation era and stuff, and like Arkansas was at the heart of all of that, but it's never talked about. Like, you don't hear about Arkansas fighting in like Civil War battles and like their whole role in this, but they were right there in it. And I'm just like, I swear to God, like Bill Clinton's an animatronic that they made like just to prove that
Yeah,
Arkansas is a
that
real place,
that
and
may be
like
true. He's an interesting character to say the least. Uh, it's you do. There's an interesting pill that you have to swallow when you're from Arkansas and you are not Republican and you border on whether or not you call yourself Democrat or not, and then the rest of the country loves Bill Clinton, but then you're from Arkansas and you're like, man, kind of fuck Bill Clinton a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's so you know it's interesting whether or not Arkansas is real. I wonder myself sometimes every day when I wake up here, but uh, as far as I can tell, the sun's still coming up here, and it's kind of an interesting mix. Little Rock, the Little Rock Nine, Lee
Mhm.
Greenwood,
you know,
first first school to segregate, um, or to desegregate. Uh, Battle of Helena and the Civil War. You're absolutely right. Arkansas is pretty much the most important state in the union. I think if we really look at it with a historical lens, if I'm being honest with you, that's a joke. That's absolutely not true. But
I was like, I'm not gonna come out and dispute you right away before I know what aspect you're coming from, but
no,
I am
it's
I am ready for this conversation.
I you know it's I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some. Has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but I am writing something on education, so I think it's important that we talk about it for 2 seconds, and then we'll be off. Uh, we have the worst governor in this state. Well, it's very, very between her and Greg Abbott. I've got Sarah Huckabee Sanders, so she's um, not
Yeah, she's
great.
pretty awful. She is pretty
Yeah,
awful. But again, somehow always just fades into the background. Like every once in a while, you get the jump scare because her face comes on the television because she said something really fucking stupid, and then you just go back to forgetting she exists. Like The fact that she hasn't made it into one of my political figure series yet, I do every Wednesday. I've been doing this for years, and I have like every time I see her, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do one on her. And then immediately I just forget about her existence because she goes back into
Would
the Arkansas, Bermuda Triangle down there.
you have no idea what I would give to live in a world where I could just forget that she existed on a regular basis. It would really do my heart good. Right now we're 47th in education, right? 47. We probably teeter, we probably switch places with Mississippi and Oklahoma occasionally, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when Asa, the previous governor, we were around 45, 46. When Mike Beebe, who was the last Democratic governor we had, we were fifth in the country. We were fifth in the nation in
Really?
education for 8 years. We held around the five spot, between 7 and 3. So we'll call it an average of 5. And then whenever Sarah's daddy, Mike Huckabee, was the governor, we were around 45 again. And then when Bill Clinton was governor, we were in the top 10 pretty consistently. I find it very strange that Republicans just don't give a shit about education because it changes that dramatically, like from top 10 to bottom 10,
It
based
is
on
crazy.
party
And
affiliation.
honestly, it's not that they don't give a shit. They very much give a shit about making it that bad because smart people don't vote Republican.
That's very true. Do y'all either y'all come from conservative families at all? Like parents
Um,
conservative, Republican?
Taylor, you're a little bit more so than me.
Yeah, my parents probably voted for Trump the last every opportunity that they had, I guess you could say. But
I got 2 of those.
but like they wouldn't call themselves MAGA in their own words. That's what they say. But if you vote for Trump, then you're MAGA in my book. So it's
I've got one of each. So I have a mother that is kind of eaten up with it. And I love my mother. I do. I also don't think that she's truly Republican. I think that that's just something she tells herself,
yeah,
and
yeah.
she's gotten really invested in the cult aspect of it. My dad is probably a Democrat at this point. He voted for he hates Trump a whole lot, like hates him, but just cannot make himself vote for a Democrat, which I don't understand. His ideals align perfectly. It's like that y'all raised me. Like
Right.
I don't exist in a vacuum. I didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
My
and
sister's very liberal.
it's funny. I
It's
have a
strange.
lot of conversations with my parents about politics, and it always comes down back. It always comes to a top down discussion, and I'm like, okay, so you understand like the real dynamic here, but why are you still like voting for Republicans who are like they're supporting the top end? I don't know,
I
probably more so
I
the insidious factions of the top end, certainly more so.
I think a lot of it really does come down, and this has been something true of conservatives. Their entire existence. It's just part of being conservative. Is part of your personality. Even when the parties were switched and Democrats were the conservative party, and like the South held on to that Democrat identity for as long as they could, and then they're like, okay, this is no longer meeting with my identity of being superior to brown people. So we need to switch that up. But like it really has something to do when you've based part of who you are and the society you live in and your entire worldview on a political party. Like I am a Republican. It is really hard to give that up, because then the opposite of that is a Democrat, where us on the left, we're like, yeah, we vote Democrat because they suck a little less, but that's not
Yeah.
my identity. I am not a Democrat. I am not defined by the party I vote for. I vote for the party because it most closely represents what I am. And therefore, it's really easy for me to say, fuck this guy, fuck this party for doing this, because I'm not having to dissociate part of something I consider my identity to do that, where they do. And if to take that the next step further to saying, now I am part of a party that I always identified as the enemy or the opposite of what I am, that takes a lot of cognitive change to do that is most people are just incapable of.
Well, I think Reagan really started that us versus them, and he didn't start it.
Nixon with the Southern strategy and
Nixon really
the
got in
war
there.
stuff with the hard hat riots and stuff like that. That
I
was
think that our parents are probably a product of that Reagan era doubling down on that, where it started becoming about the welfare queens and Democrats are taking advantage of the system and they are taking what doesn't belong to them, and you're subsidizing their way of life. That's my parents are a product of that for sure. The reason they find themselves unable to say, well, I'm going to vote for a Democrat is they still see Democrats painted in that lens of that Reagan era ideal of it, where, it's, they're going to take your money and give it to somebody else. It's like, hey, I don't
which
know
is
y'all are aware of
what
this.
Republicans are actually doing. They're just taking it
They're
to
all
people who
taking your
already have
money
all of the money.
and they're giving it to someone else. I don't know why you give a shit who they're giving it to because you're not getting it back. I would just prefer it go to kids that are hungry and need to go to a doctor than,
Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
yeah, and
Yeah.
don't give a shit about them. They've got plenty of money to do whatever they want with, and I don't give
Well,
a fuck if they buy another house.
and it will come back to us if we do give it to those poor people, because poor people spend the money. That goes back into the economy. That means that, there's more jobs to be had. Those jobs are better paying jobs. Those people then, if they're elevated out of poverty, they start paying taxes, which means you get to pay less taxes because the tax burden is spread over a larger group of contributing members of society. Like, we really get into it. Giving money to poor people always comes back to you, usually, exponentially. We're giving money to rich people, it's going to trickle all over our faces any day, guys, I swear.
Well, Rousseau said that the role of government is to provide for the common weal. So I think that if you're taking all of this money or whatever that we provide to the government in the form of taxes, and if you're just sitting that all at the top and you're expecting everybody else to kind of do their best, but you're not safeguarding the populace against corporate interests, they fed us this idea of like hard work is a virtue kind of thing, where we tie success to work and money is then tied to good deeds and
the meritocracy,
goodness and whatever. Yeah. And so it at some point I just like, Dad, you've worked your ass off your entire life and you are not a billionaire, like not by any stretch of the imagination. So it seems like maybe that's not exactly how it works. And my dad was raised in the projects. Like it's like he was born with a silver spoon. He understands the struggle of it. But I think we've tied virtue to money for so long that we just don't know any differently. So my parents, a lot of times we talk about, well, billionaires should be paying more in taxes. My dad still looks, and my dad's smart. He just looks at it as, well, they earned that. It's like, I mean, no,
You
they
don't earn $1
fucking
billion.
didn't. What are you talking about? Like,
right?
You climbed over somebody's back and shit down their throat to get the big. Like, there's no.
Yeah. What job are they doing where their physical labor is worth that hourly wage? Like what are they actually doing in that moment to create that? And then if you break it down to that level, it's like there is no wage that is quantified.
No.
There's no labor that's worth $10,000 an hour or whatever, the insane amount that some of these billionaires
There's
are getting.
Talent that's worth that. There's no person that can provide that much singular value for, like, if you're the CEO of a company, you are not providing $1 billion worth of value to that company. There's nothing you can do that somebody else couldn't do the exact same thing for less money. Like, there's no talent or labor that equals that kind of money.
Well, I think that's when we talk about things like the wage gap and shit, and it lands on people that have not a real concept of what it really means to say that a CEO makes 4,000 times what a frontline worker makes, or 400,000 times at some point. Those aren't real numbers to be like, you don't know what $1
No.
trillion is. You've never seen $1 trillion of anything or $1 billion of
People
anything
don't
for
even
that matter.
don't even know what a billion is, because like
No.
a billion and a million, people equate those two things as being similar. Like, oh, I'm a millionaire, the next step's a billionaire. It's like, no, the fuck it's not. Like, there is a millionaire, like somebody who has $10 million is closer to being homeless than they are to being a billionaire. Like, that is how astronomically different a million and a billion is, and people just do not understand that concept.
Someone with $400 million is closer to being homeless than they are to being a billionaire. That's someone with $100 billion is closer to being homeless than they are to being Elon Musk. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Although recently that number might be shrinking a little bit, but
sure. Let's
not,
say
not
you
enough.
took most of it, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you took $300 billion away from him. He still has $100 billion. That's not even fucking real.
No.
It's grains of sand on the seashore shit. Like, that's biblical numbers. I just don't. Also, I don't know how you equate that. I don't know how you justify that in your own mind. At some point, it has to be just, oh, I've got more numbers on this spreadsheet, because you don't spend that money. You have no idea, you have no concept
Right.
of it, and it's all leveraged debt at that point anyway. It's not
liquid, no, and they're not.
You're
Yeah,
not
they're not
writing a
rolling
check.
around in their $1 billion. They don't have a mattress made out of it or something. Yeah,
They're not Scrooge McDuckin in the basement.
Right.
Oh, you know they've
That's
done
what
that for sure, though.
Oh, I mean, if I had that kind of money, I would do it once at least.
I would have
like,
one
I would just go to the
small
bank,
pool
and I'm
of
like,
cash
I
that
want a pool's worth of cash that I can just swim around in for the day, and then I'm gonna need
Only
you to send a
hundreds,
truck and
though.
pick it all back
Only
up.
hundreds. Gotta be.
I mean, we could probably get a kiddie pool full of nickels or something at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and that is something that it's like, these people have to be just truly evil, because I cannot understand the motivation of wanting more when you have that much. Like, I couldn't physically find I couldn't find it in me to continue to want more. Like, if I got up to that $10 million range, I'd be like, I'm enjoying the rest of my fucking life. I'm helping out some people in my life. I'm donating to some stuff I really find important. I'm keeping a few $1,000,000 for me. I'm fucking traveling and drinking what I want to drink and eating what I want to eat and just living my life, and fuck y'all. Like, I couldn't find the motivation to continue to try to exploit everything, to just, again, get those numbers higher on a spreadsheet, to just say that I'm the richest douchebag on the planet.
Well, that's because you're not a sociopath, and there's the difference. I think that there has to be some sort of psychological thing that occurs. It's that comfort level thing of, there's an old analogy that says that a person that wins a lottery and a person that loses a leg will be the same level of happy in a year, right? Like, you adapt to your environment. And so I don't know that at a certain point they just have lost all touch with what it means to be anything other than that wealthy. I spent a couple years in Honduras, and when you talk about poverty, like, that's fucking poverty.
Yeah.
There's no middle class there. It's super wealthy people and then exploited labor, essentially. And people that live in the banana orchards and underneath Pepsi signs, and that's not an exaggeration. That's what you see when you drive to the airport, is that sort of living experience. And you forget that shit exists. I think a lot of times we talk about poverty in a different arena, or through a different lens of, what we see daily is, people that can't make ends meet versus people that have no ends to pull together regardless. They're just surviving barely. But I don't know. I also think that shouldn't exist. But certainly the idea that one person could solve those problems with a check and still not notice the difference except on paper, that's fucking absurd. That sort of wealth, and I hate that people equate it to, well, they earned that money. Like, God damn, they didn't earn that fucking money. Like, I don't know what you think. Again, like what you said earlier, like, I don't know what you think they did to fucking earn it. But if there's if there's a legitimate way to earn that, I'd like to talk about it because I will give it away. I promise to God. Like it's, I need very little to get through this world, but it's. I think that they have dissociated so much from what the rest of the world looks like. They don't see regular people anymore. It's not like they run into us in their day-to-day lives. We exist on a screen, and we're ants in an ant farm to billionaires. Like, and I don't mean to like make it a bigger deal than it is, but that's the reality of it. Their economy does not affect ours whatsoever. We never see the money that they spend. Ours affects theirs quite a bit in that it just floats right up into their pockets, and then they go buy Bentleys and shit and
Spaceships.
more than handmade cars and stuff.
Yeah, spaceships. And
take trips to Mars. Also, there are things that exist that we have no idea about, and I don't mean like they're hiding them from us. I mean that there are just brand names that. You ever run into something that's supposed to be like the most elite luxury item, and you're like, I had no idea that this existed. I am so poor.
Honestly, I think the difference of people who consider taking a private jet normal-ish, and then everybody else is like a massive, like the reality that they live in, and those are just people who take private jets, much less a billionaire. Like it's a mind blowing to think that these this strata of humanity exists on the same planet.
I did work for a person that they didn't own their own private jet. They had like a NetJet account. So, depending on where they would go. And I think it did make sense for her to have that because she would fly odd places. She owned a restaurant group. So she would fly all over the country and needed to leave at certain. I think you justified at some point. I use the private jet sometimes, because I was going somewhere. That's a lot different flying on like a Piper 4-seater versus owning a 747
right.
that has your fucking name painted on the side of it. Like that's like she's pretty wealthy, and then you have a 747 with your name on it as a different animal. Just even the disparity just in rich people is crazy. I use what I call an expensive pencil, right? I like a nice pencil, right? I write a lot.
I love like we're just going from there's a difference between like a Piper Cub and a Citation and a 747. It's kind of like how I use this expensive pencil.
Well, what I was gonna say is,
yeah.
I write a lot, right? It's whatever. It's what I fucking do every day. And so I buy good pencils that, they matter, whatever. And then I was talking to someone who has like a $4,000 ink pen. Like, for fucking what? And they're like, oh, it's better. I'm like, no, it's not fucking that. This is a $4 pencil.
It's not $4,000 better.
I will guarantee you've never found a better writing tool than this and it's an expensive pencil based on what pencils cost. It's not like I think anybody could scrape together the money for the pencil,
I don't know if we can have continuous interview though.
Like what kind of digits are we talking about with your pencils here? We talking 2 digits, 3 digits? Like
it's $4.
$4, okay.
Okay, can you sell us on the pencil though? Can you give us the features of the pencil?
Yes, I can. And this is gonna sound crazy. First of all, the ferrule on it is square, right? And so it doesn't roll whenever you put it somewhere.
Okay,
that's a very small thing.
That's a feature.
The other thing is it's the graphite composition. So it's firmer than like an artist's pencil. But it's made to keep its edge. It's very firm, but you don't have to press very hard. So when you're doing a lot of writing, you can write for long periods of time without it wearing your hand out. You don't have to make a lot of hard contact with the paper. And if you couple that with good paper, right?
Hold on. Now we're breaking the bank here.
Your,
First, I got to invest in a better pencil. Now I got to invest in the better paper. I don't know. This is starting
Yeah,
to add up.
yeah, it's a whole thing. Look, I don't suggest it's not recommended for everybody. It's not everyday people. Like I wouldn't get it for your kids.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
don't send your kids to school with a $40 box of pencils. But you know, um,
No, I
I
just
was I
Oh.
was more
appreciate
inclined.
your dedication to this pencil.
Look, it's
Have
George
you got a
Steinbeck
sponsorship
used
from
this
this pencil
pencil.
company yet? Because at this point, I think you'd be their best
Look,
salesman right
look,
now.
I'm
You're
gonna
like,
send him a
like,
note after this is
yeah.
over and say, hey, I
Uh-huh.
think that it's. I should say that it's a Blackwing 602. Um, there's probably look. I don't know who all listens to your podcast, but I guarantee you, there's at least 5 people right now that knew what I was talking about before I showed you the pencil. When I was like, I use a specific pencil, they're like, oh, that guy used a Blackwing pencil. I guarantee you.
You know, there is a
That's
weird like following with like really specific like pens and pencils. I worked in Office Max as a manager there for like 6 months, and there were some people who came in with some really specific requests, and I'm like, I don't know, man. This is a G6. I don't it writes. It's good. I don't know.
I've tried to get good pens. I don't like a fancy pen, especially not a $4,000 one. Not in that it costs 4 grand, just in the I don't want a fountain pen because I'm gonna get ink everywhere. Like I don't know how to do it. I should probably take a class on how to
Oh yeah,
operate
one
the thing. I
person in the
think they're
comments
wrong.
knew about your pencil. We already
Hell yeah,
got
they
one.
did.
So
I know. Look, there's 2 other ones that just are afraid to say it. Yeah, they'll be up there in a minute. Um, they'll get back to you. It's the only way to live. I'm telling you. I'm gonna send you one. I'm gonna send you a box of pencils.
all right.
And look, I don't know what you do for a living, but if you're using like if you're doing construction or you're using one of those square pencils that goes in your hat, to hell with them. This is what we're gonna get you. It'll last for quite a while. And look, I know it's a forty
See,
dollar
it
box
won't
of
last for
pencils.
quite a while because I have severe ADHD and I'm going to set it down somewhere and it will never be seen again.
Not
About
when that
2 minutes
is
after I
four
just
dollars
had
you
it in my
want.
hand.
Not
Oh,
when it's
believe
four
me,
dollars you
I've
want.
lost far more expensive things than a $4 pencil.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Do
Jordan
not
would be the one.
underestimate my ability to lose shit.
Do you want to
Jordan
see
would be
some
the one to
nerd
use
shit
it.
real quick? Hang on a
Yeah.
Yeah,
second. Here you go. So I have this, which is my
your fancy pencil
my
bag.
pencil box, like I'm a child, with my sharpener. Look, you're not going to want to talk to me much longer. But anyway, even you even have these little things that go on the end of them to keep you from breaking the point, so you can have a backup pencil ready to go at
Wow.
all
Hey, I
times.
mean, that's legit. I mean, if you're paying $4 for a pencil and you got them in a bag, the tips are
Let
gonna
me tell you
break.
something.
The tips are gonna
If
break.
Mhm.
anybody thought I was cool, that fucking illusion is
Just out
gone.
the
That
window
shit's
now.
over. That shit's over.
Okay,
Um,
but so you actually, it sounds like you love writing, and there's a couple things in here. So
well,
partly,
I want to know. So,
yeah. Go ahead,
so
Jordan.
What's
yeah,
up?
because he loves writing. Sorry, Taylor, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just before we because we steered way off the beginning. We
Oh
found
yeah,
out you're
yeah.
from
Sorry about
Arkansas,
that.
and then
Yeah.
know nothing else about you. So you clearly went to college for something, probably
Yeah.
writing with fancy pencils. It sounds like,
Nah.
and like calligraphy, perhaps. I don't know. And
No. So, do you want to know what I went to?
yeah, yeah.
What's funny is my bachelor's is in community development, and my master's is in applied economics. So, by trade, I do market forecasting and commodities projection for food service contracts. I still do that as kind of contract work. I do it on the side. I guess it's on the side. I still do it for some companies, which right now it's easy. Just add 15, 17%. Uh, 6 months down the road, you're going to hit fucking pretty close to it. You don't even have to watch the markets anymore. Like it's just, hey man, it's going to go to shit. Watch this. And so you used to have to really like pay attention. That's really, but oddly enough, that's kind of why I follow politics so closely and really view it through, I would consider it an unbiased lens, because you can't, when it's your job, to write these things, and that's what you're getting paid to do. Having the bias of saying, oh, well, I don't like Republicans, or I don't like Democratic policies, or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. The markets are going to do what they're going to do. And if you're not watching the real trends and being able to make accurate projections on it, you're not going to have a job for very long. And if you spend any time in that space, really looking at those things and watching them, to come out of it as a Republican or as a conservative is odd. And I think if you will pay attention to you have two kinds of economists. You have a top line economist, which is what is completely filling the Trump White House at the moment. Those guys are corporate economists. They know how to make companies money, and then they know how to leverage debt, and then how do we save as much of this as we can to file bankruptcy and then roll it into the next thing. Those guys are also economists. They understand economics and how GDP works, but they know how to bend it to top line sales versus bottom line sales, kind of would be the difference. Like, they don't give a shit what makes it to the bottom. They will sell everything between the top and the bottom to make sure they hold on to as much cash as possible. They're not worried about long-term viability, whereas a true economist, like people that teach this shit, will tell you that every economic theory bends toward, we'll call it justice. Like it bends toward.
Isn't it like rationalization? Like it bends to being logical and in some manner.
Yeah.
Even
Friedman's original neoliberalism bent. I mean, the idea of it is sound, like the theory's sound, but if you don't account for greed, right, then of course everything's good. But every economic theory works if you don't account for greed.
I mean, I think Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations is really interesting because obviously, like, father of capitalism, and this is what conservatives like just absolutely, just top their load as soon as you start talking about the free market and shit. If they actually read the Wealth of Nations and what Adam Smith said needed to happen for this system to work, they'd think he was Karl Marx. Like, it's like, no, the rich people need to be regulated heavily and make sure that they don't form monopolies, and they also need to pay for all the poor people to have stuff to live. Like, that's all in the Wealth of Nations.
And what I find very surprising is the number of people that just either saw a line, like an Adam Smith quote, or they know that he's the father of capitalism, so they're like, oh, that's my guy. It's like, well, I mean, no, you should read the book. Like, you should really read the book. I have people that will come into my comment section on stuff and they'll say, you're wrong. I'm like, well, I'm not fucking wrong. I promise you that. Like, you may disagree with me or you may not like it, but it's not wrong. And they will offer to have a debate with me. I don't debate people. I think that's stupid. But if you want to have a conversation, sure. But here's a reading list. I need you to read these books before you come talk to me, because if you don't, we're not going to have much to talk about. Or if you want to just ask me some questions, I can answer for you. And that sounds a little arrogant, and I apologize. If you want to talk about the original meanings or the original intent, you should read books like The Original Meanings and Original Intent by Braylon and Wood. You should read those books and gain some perspective, or read Second Treatise or something. Understand where these things are coming from. Because otherwise you're getting all your information from fucking Joe Rogan or Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro.
Spell treatise, let alone read an entire book. So let's lower our expectations here a little bit.
And look, I'm all for. I think you should read everything by everybody. You should read Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations because it's good. The theory's good. It just sucks that it's hijacked and bastardized.
If we had Adam Smith's capitalism right now, we would be doing just fine. Like, I would be all for Adam Smith's capitalism. Obviously, modernized.
Adam Smith's capitalism is very, very similar to FDR's economy. Like, that's kind of the idea. It has to be regulated. It's not a free capitalism, and free market is kind of an odd mix. Because it cannibalizes itself, and then you end up with monopolies and stuff.
You can't have a free market without regulation and antitrust laws stopping. So, like, it's not a paradox. There's no paradox there. It's that these companies are free to operate with what the market demands and respond to those demands and provide for those demands. They are just not free to be the only provider of those demands in that market. That's there's you can't have a free market without those regulations, without those guardrails to make sure that they don't become a monopoly and we fall into, an
The
oligarchy or feudal system.
the idea that we continue to let the SEC and right now the FCC
Mhm.
make changes to rules regularly. Like Paramount wanted to buy CBS, so they had to change the rules so that you can own a certain amount of stations. And now Sinclair wants to buy whoever the fuck they're going to buy. And so the
Is it
SEC needs to
Nexstar or some
change
shit like that?
Nexstar, yeah. So now they have to change the rules again. So you can, like, hey, let's stop changing the rules. Let's just operate inside the rules. Or maybe back up a little bit and get back to where we should be. Because there's no reason you're erasing the free market. You're doing exactly what you say you don't want to do, is that you're allowing monopolies and trusts to take over. And they shade it in these ideas of, oh, they're mergers, and it's still too well. Look, if you collude to a certain degree, then you're doing the same thing. Like once your interests align that closely, it's over. It's the same shit. So
And what's frustrating is we have the antitrust laws on the books to stop this stuff already, and we just have completely ignored them. Like, a lot of this doesn't even take new legislation to address. It's just enforcing legislation we already have.
I think the root of it turns into you. We have to guardrail the amount of money that's in politics. Well, Madison was worried about factions, and he wasn't wrong. But I think the the part we missed was the lack of ethical grounding that people would have at this
Mm.
stage of the game.
Which isn't entirely surprising because that's 200 some fucking years ago or
Yeah.
whatever, like 250 years ago. It's
And don't get me
quite a
wrong,
bit has
people were plenty
changed.
shitty back then.
Right.
But I think that there was obviously there's blind spots. I mean, culture is going to look different in 100 years from now in ways that we're not expecting or can't plan for. Of course, there's going to be blind spots. I don't think that the idea was that you would have all these, and I just wrote a whole thing about this that I just posted on the internet. But if I don't think they were prepared for the factions to collude the way they have, like for all these corporate interests to collude. They thought, or Madison thought, that they would all fight each other, and that would be like, well, that'll just take care of itself. They'll cancel each other out. Well, I guess they figured out the game and the loophole there that if we can just
Yeah.
align our interests and
Did a little bit of game theory,
we've
Figured it out.
gotten away from the original idea. Like it's so far removed from what the origins were and what the original arguments were for why things should be the way they are, that it and then those same people fucking yell about, oh, the constitution, and this is what the founders, like, you don't have a fucking clue what the founders said. And if we get to talking about religion and stuff, like, that's a whole different uh animal as far as what the original intents were there. And we won't start that because that's another podcast on itself. But sorry, I keep running off.
No, you're good. This is great. When it's organic, it's always the best. So, no, I agree. So yeah, we got your what you do for a living, and what your kind of educational background is there. Um, what what got you into this more artistic style of writing?
I had a great English teacher, Pam Garrett. I wrote an essay about her and put it on the internet. Got a lot of popularity, or had a lot of popularity. I went to a very small school. I graduated with 28 people, and so I had the same teacher and the same English teacher for English and fine arts and creative writing for 4 years. She really, I say she saw something in me and kind of helped me cultivate it. And I've always written and been a storyteller. I grew up with storytellers. My dad, my uncles, and family members are all very good storytellers. So I was I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to put on paper, but she certainly taught me how to control it and how to make it sing, so to speak. And then I went to college, far over prepared. I was way more prepared for writing in college than most of my peers, even at a uh, pretty good liberal arts school. I didn't really know that I was going to do anything with it. I thought I was going to be a songwriter, so I wrote music and played guitar and did all that for a long time, not knowing I didn't really think there was going to be anything. But I just enjoyed doing it, and I would write essays, and I used to post. I used to have a blog, like a live journal. Does anybody remember live journals?
Yeah, I remember Live Journal.
And stuff like that. Uh, there's a movie called Yesterday. It's about this, like the Beatles never existed, and this guy remembered the Beatles songs and
Yeah, I love
started
that
playing
movie.
them. And he's in. There's that scene where he's in the bar and he's playing "Hey Jude," and nobody gives a shit. Like you're like, this is the greatest song that's ever written. Nobody cares. I think until you find your audience, right, or the people, like if you find your moment to say what needs to be said, people just don't really care. And a lot of my stuff prior to the election was less political, more economic, but a lot of it was cultural stuff. Like I wrote about family and, old shotguns and shit like that. So it didn't, it's hard to kind of find your audience and when you don't have a platform to do it from. I don't know. I was trying to I wrote an essay for a friend of mine's parents. She didn't understand why they were Republican and she was having a hard time with it. I said, well, I'll write something. I wrote it and I thought, well, they're not going to read this. I'll just record me reading it and then I'll send it to them. And so I just set my phone up on the bathroom counter and did that. And as I was sending it to her, I was watching TikTok. I was like, I should just throw this on TikTok and maybe it'll help somebody else. That's kind of where it came from. Like it's just been very unexpected. Again, like we were talking before we started the thing, I have no idea what is supposed to do well or what analytics mean. Um, it's odd because prior to this, I didn't post anything else. I had social media, but I didn't fucking
Mhm.
do anything with it. Now I know a lot more about any of that than I ever cared to. Uh, so sorry, that's my long answer for how I got started, I guess. Um,
No.
Good
as far
answer.
as the poetry stuff, I think everybody needs an outlet of some kind, a palate cleanser for the end of the day. I also contend that everybody should write. Like everybody, every day should filter their day or their life through the written word. And I don't mean try to write poetry or try to write something for other people to read. Just try to write something for yourself.
Go pick up that $4 pencil and get to it.
Hell yeah. Please do. Tell them I sent you. I'm just kidding. I, I do think that I think the thing that scares people whenever they talk about writing is they feel like they have to write like Robert Frost or Walt Whitman. Like, no, those guys are generational. Like that, you don't do that. And you also don't have to write something that's super long that has a point to it. Just write what you're feeling, write in your own voice, put it on paper, and then you'll get better at it. Do it every day. And if you want to be a writer, start writing. You're thinking about writing is not going to get you very far.
You also don't need
But
to
I do
share it
think
with
everybody should
anybody.
do it.
You can just write
Yeah.
it and revisit it when it's meaningful for you to revisit it and go from there.
But I think even people that don't consider themselves writers at this particular point are writers like yourself. I mean, you have to write what you do. I mean, I know that kind of comes off the top of your head a little bit, but you're still having to put it down. Like you're having to outline that or something. I mean, those thoughts are going on paper or in you're typing it or whatever. So I think a lot more people are writing than they're really giving themselves credit for. It's just the way they frame it and think about it is what the difference is. Because I do get a lot of people that ask me what my advice for them for writing is, and if I'll critique things or I also get a lot of people that send me stuff that's obviously just right off the old chat GPT. It's like, why did you send me this? Like
Right.
it's very obviously nonsense. Like, what are we doing here?
Are you?
So anyway,
I mean, I assume I know the answer, but do you prefer to type, or you really like the pen and the paper, pencil and the paper?
I carry it. Look, when we talk about not being cool, let me tell you this. I carry a little notebook. I have this thing. I'll show you all my stuff because this is right. So I have this little thing full of notebooks, right?
Hmm.
Like I'm in school in the 50s, right? Like it's just strapped around it. Uh, I like to outline stuff on paper. I, if I'm trying to type, I don't always have a computer. I mean, you've got a phone in your pocket, but that's different. And there is something about putting pen to paper. I think you really you convert it to process more. Like you're kind of alone with your thoughts in that moment. And the same, I guess, exists when you're typing it, but it exists differently for me. You know, I feel like if you're writing it down, it's your handwriting. It is a direct connection between you and the words. And this all sounds very artsy and whatever, but that's just how it is. I think that anybody that does it would tell you that. Um, I think they're. I'm going to get off. I'm going to tangent for just 1 second, but bear
No,
with me.
you're good.
Uh, I,
Only a
I
second.
feel like we're in this moment of kind of a reappreciation of some analog devices. You know, like I think that we tried to declutter so much, and oh, look at what all I can cram into my phone. You know, I can do everything from my phone. And then we realized that, oh well, fuck, I need a paper planner because if I just put it in my phone, I forget about things. So I need to write these things down, or you know, I don't. We don't carry anything anymore. I which is fine, but I like to have something with me. Most
I
of the
mean,
time, writing
oh,
stuff, you know, to document things. I mean, the phone doesn't always work. You don't want to just have everything typed out. There's something about. Have you ever cleared out like a relative's things, you know, after they've passed
yeah.
away or something?
Mm.
Well, my grandfather kept journals, and when I tell you journals, I don't mean like profound writings. I mean he documented his day in a way that is kind of odd, but I think it was, I don't know, it's his way of keeping track. Like he would write, I took Betty to lunch. We ate at Cracker Barrel. It was $4.18. She had uh, 2 eggs over easy, which was strange because she usually eats them over medium. Like just that, like whatever he was thinking about at
What would
the
he
end of
have
the
had to
day.
say about the Cracker Barrel rebrand in his journal?
My grandfather wouldn't have given two shits. He would have said something like, as long as they don't change that bone in chicken. Uh, my, my grandfather was very direct and didn't really get involved in a lot of nonsense for the sake of nonsense. He's been gone for a while now, but he was quiet's not the right word. He was reserved for the most part. He liked to fight when he was younger, and then he had some open heart surgery, and the doctor told him he couldn't fight anymore. So he just quit drinking. I don't. That's who we're dealing with. And so he didn't get involved with bullshit for the sake of bullshit, I guess. He wouldn't have cared. He would have gotten very upset with anybody that wanted to talk about them changing the sign. Just like, let them change the sign. I also think that Cracker Barrel might be marketing geniuses in that they did that at 10 stores just so that they could make a big hoopla about it and get people reinvested in their brand. And then it was really easy to take the shit off the wall in 10 stores and put it right back. Like, I think they might be geniuses because every hit they took in the stock market immediately returned once they changed the thing. It's like, you guys are super smart. If you
There,
orchestrated that, you're fucking marketing geniuses.
I mean, I feel like outraging Republicans is the easiest way to increase brand awareness and get them to come in and spend money. You know, like
I, they're the easiest group of people. And I know they give liberals and progressives a hard, like, oh, y'all are fucking snowflakes and whatever. Like, I mean, we just care about people being treated like shit, like y'all care about goddamn Cracker Barrel signs. Like, this is crazy.
Exactly.
I always love how they call us the cancel culture crowd too. And it's like, you guys canceled Starbucks for not making their Christmas cups Christmassy enough for you. Like, your guys' bar for canceling something because it hurts your feelings is so low a worm couldn't crawl underneath it.
My conservative Republican father once. This is where I don't think he's as Republican as he claims to be. When people were talking about that whole like thing with Starbucks and the cups and the Christmassy stuff, I was like, well, I mean, obviously they're just trying to make one goddamn cup instead of 50 fucking different kinds of cups. Like, well, who gives a shit? You don't have a Christmas cup at home? You got to have one from Starbucks? Jesus Christ. I was like, that's the best perspective I've ever heard on this shit. Especially when it comes from a 65-year-old Republican man. Just angry at other Republicans for being angry and stupid.
Man, war on Christmas, the least fought war ever that ever was.
I don't understand how in the fuck you say there's a war on Christmas when they put the Christmas shit out earlier
like
and earlier
September
every year.
now. Like, I mean, like it's eaten other holidays. Like, we can't even get to Halloween and Christmas shit's out. Like, just stop. Like,
Also, if you can tell me when they say, well, these other holidays are taken. It's like, tell me when they put the Hanukkah stuff or the Kwanzaa stuff out, and then we can have a conversation because I don't ever see that. Also, I always thought that Happy Holidays when I was younger was just Merry Christmas and Happy New Year mixed together and saving the fucking time. I never
Thanksgiving.
thought of it as a
yeah, it's the holidays.
Yeah, like
it's the
there's
holiday
a bunch
season.
of them all smashed in here together.
Yeah.
Like now I exclusively say Happy Holidays. By the way, like I don't.
yeah. Why wouldn't you? Also, 0 people have ever been offended because you said Merry Christmas to them. Like, I have never in my fucking life, like, and I a good portion of my childhood was in South Florida, huge Jewish population down there.
Sure.
Lots of Jewish friends and just Jewish people around. Hanukkah, you can find Hanukkah stuff around there because there's just that many of them. And you say Merry Christmas, and they're like, oh yeah, Happy Hanukkah. They're like, whatever. And I'm like, cool, I'm not offended that you said Happy Hanukkah to me. You're not offended I said Merry Christmas to you. No one gives a shit. No one has ever been offended, and they just pretend that, like, all of these people are offended because they said Merry Christmas. I'm like, conservatives make shit up to be mad about and then get really, really mad about it all the time.
Can we also stop pretending that Christmas is any more a Christian holiday?
Oh,
like,
right. No,
get the fuck out of here. It is a time of year that is recognized by everybody. Like, it's Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And look, there. If you want to get mad about something around Christmas time, and you want to really be Christian about it, be mad that Home Depot's not selling nativity scenes or some shit. But don't be mad because you think people are offended by your Merry Christmas verse. Like, nobody fucking cares, man.
And if you're really gonna get mad about something to do with Christian, be mad that it's been turned into a capitalist holiday for what is arguably the most socialist fucking deity figure ever to exist. Like, he's like, give all your shit away and follow me. Can't pass a camel through the eye of a needle. And they're like, oh no, we need to buy all of this shit. Like, all of it. We need to start buying it right after Thanksgiving and just load up, spend like our entire Christmas bonus on this for stuff that nobody's gonna want. Like, that's what we need to do.
It's just I think that particular group. You know how they tell you, did y'all grow up in the church at all? You hear those, sure,
So,
like enough that you understand that there's these fables and mythos of persecution for your beliefs or whatever. I think they still want that, but that doesn't exist anymore, and so they make it the fuck up.
They crave that conflict.
Like the Oliver Twist meme. Please, sir, can I have a crumb of oppression?
Yeah, I just need a little bit of enough oppression to get me through the fucking day. To fucking while I'm getting my Botox and my fillers.
It's the ultimate consumerism thing. It's their own personal brand of oppression because everybody's being oppressed by this capitalist hellscape that we call the country every day, but it's not their preferred morsel. It's that's somebody else's problem. That poverty, that's because they don't work hard enough. No, I need to have 8 different kinds of Christmas Starbucks cups because that's what Christmas means to me.
It's sure, yeah. I mean, I know that black people were enslaved and then segregated against.
Okay.
Kids are being genocided over there in the Middle East. But somebody said happy holidays to me, and that really offended me. And I do not think you understand the emotional stress that put me under. So
These are the same people that will contend that slavery was better than dying.
yes.
Hey, guess what? Happy holidays is better than dying. How about that? Let's just throw that back at you. So eat a bag of dicks with that one, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
They are the worst group of people. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, we joke
genuinely awful. Like
we joke all the time
be
that
oppressed, but...
right. We joke all the time that it's always projection because it literally always is. And the fact that they don't see it themselves is, I don't know if it makes it better or worse because it's hilarious either way.
I grew up I grew up religious, like with a religious family, and I say that they took us to church, and I went to a Christian school for my elementary years and whatever, and so I had a foundation of faith, so to speak. But when you talk to people, especially now, like people will come at me because I write a lot of things about Christian nationalism, and I speak very pointedly about what the text says and whatever. They don't want real Christianity. They want that I can still have a $500,000 home and Louis Vuitton bags and shit while people suffer and starve and die because I go to church on Sundays and I feel good about myself. Yeah, Martha, that's great. But at the end of the day, like to consider yourself a hardcore devout Christian is absurd. Call it what it is. Like you are just you're in a social club that centers around kind of Christianity a little bit. Like it's like somebody thought about Christianity while holding the cup that you're drinking out of. Yeah. We once thought about Jesus whenever we were talking to each other. It's not the ideals of the church are great, but the tenets of every major religion are essentially the same. It's treat people well and take care of each other. It's how in the fuck you reconcile with yourself at the end of every day that those aren't the things that you did, but instead you are concerned with whether or not you get to have a 100-round magazine on a fucking AR-15 is crazy to me. It's crazy shit. Like, look, I'm a gun owner. I live in Arkansas. I take it too far though.
Born, right?
Yeah, like I'm a purist in the sense of I think 3.5-inch shell. Like I think people that shoot 3.5-inch shells with a shotgun duck hunting are pussies. Like I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, come on now. Like that's too much. You only need a 2 3/4 and probably a pump shotgun or an over and under. Like that's I'm a purist from that sense.
All right, I hate me an over and under. I cannot hit shit with an over and under. Side by sides, I can hit shit all day long with, but an over under, I don't know what it is. I know they're like the favorite for trap shooters and stuff, but I cannot hit dick with.
I can't hit anything with a side by side. I can hit the first barrel, I'm good. Like the right barrel, I'm good. The left barrel, I can't hit it. I might as well fucking throw the shell. I might as well don't even load that side. Because I'm doing nothing with it. I can't lead right with it. I don't know. So I think when we talk about using like, oh well, I hunt with an AR-15. Like, I mean, if you want to call that hunting, that's fine. But I've been hunting my entire life. I've never missed a deer or anything I was shooting at with the first shot. So I don't need 100 rounds. I just, so I look at it from that other side of it, and I try to make fun of people that are very adamant about the number of the capacity that they need to do it as absurd. So, sorry, tangent again. Let's get back to it.
All good.
I'm the worst at it, man. I'm sorry.
They got to defend their liberty, against
sure.
Not just the deer. They try their best to take away our rights too. But
uh, yeah. So you've been doing some work with politicians then as well.
Yeah. Right now, Hallie Schaffner she's the candidate running for Senate against Tom Cotton. And if you don't know who Tom Cotton is,
I'm
he's the
unfortunately well aware of who Tom Cotton
he's the
is.
devil incarnate.
You have a lot of those in Arkansas, it seems like.
But I tell you what, we are just a fucking breeding ground for demagogues and fucking uh, the worst people. Uh, we we have the best people and the worst people. There's no fucking middle ground. There's no half-ass good people in the state of Arkansas. So, uh, right now I do a lot of work with her and some state legislators who are running for state office that are getting some challengers from national PACs and stuff, which is very strange. That people are putting money into state elections at that sort of level. But Hallie Schaffner's running against Tom Cotton. I do think she'll win. It's not that I think she has a good chance at it. Like, I think that she will outright win. She's a farmer from Eastern Arkansas. She went to Vanderbilt. She graduated from the Clinton School of Public Service, which is a master's program.
I don't know. It sounds like some liberal elite shit that the Arkansas
Oh,
people
buddy,
just
it
love.
is. It is that for sure. But I think what she's doing is smart. She is not. I mean, she is spending a lot of time with the Republican voters, the farmers that she knows. I mean, she knows that industry so well. Uh, and Tom Cotton's not coming to talk to any of them, so she's going to these. She spent a lot of time with those guys, and I think she's making a lot of headway. Um, we're 18 months from an election. They're about to almost 14 months from an election, and he's already having to start doing smear campaigns about her, and so I mean, it's moving the needle. I think Tom's underwater right now, and as a Republican in the state of Arkansas, to be underwater is different for him. I think he loses his job. I really do.
I hope you're
I
right.
mean,
She's
we're hoping
I
he's
don't
just
have
one
a
of
ton.
many, in
Yeah.
that election.
I mean, flipping a seat in Arkansas would be huge. Like that would be absolutely huge.
I think we've got one. I think maybe a House. French Hill's very unpopular. Also, I think Chris Jones will end up beating him for that House seat, and which is a central Arkansas seat, which is notably blue. It's a capital city, so I think he'll flip that. They also just don't have anything to run on anymore. I mean, you're taking that big beautiful bill really hurt them, and I don't know if they just thought that people were just going to roll over and fucking. They did. That's exactly what they thought. I don't know why I'm even
I mean, they've done this
pretending
for a
like I
really
don't know.
long time.
Yeah.
They just kept pushing. They're like, hey, these dumb motherfuckers will believe anything we tell them. Like, we'll just blame it on the Democrats, and they'll
I
keep
think
electing us for screwing them in the ass.
I think that's the biggest fear with the platforms like TikTok and whatever. I mean, I know that it started off as a kids dancing app, but it is. I bet if you took a poll of people under 40 and maybe even under 50 about where they get their most trusted news, it's going to be like a Philip DeFranco
Mm-hmm.
kind of, a social media platform, somebody that's giving independent news. I mean, I am. That's where I get. I mean,
Yeah.
other than like AP Wire or Ground News or something where you're getting. I mean, I read The Economist and The Atlantic and shit, but like actual visual news, like where it's all independent social
Oh
media
yeah.
based, and so
Nobody's watching CNN anymore. Like,
as soon as they started platforming Scott Jennings that often, it's just like, what are you doing now? Like, can we? I understand having a balanced and unbiased news broadcast, but you can do that just by having a balanced and unbiased message. Like, you don't have to have the
yeah.
extremes on both sides trying to meet in the middle. It's fucking crazy.
Well, it is crazy, and that's the other thing that really frustrates me with that. Oh, both sides. You like need to present both sides. Like, no, you don't need to platform Nazis. Like, you just don't need to do that. Like, you can have a because sometimes there's not two sides to a topic, right? There's not always two logical sides. It's like one side is okay or tolerable in one side is legit fascism or oppression. Like, you don't need to be like, well, there's some good merits to segregation or slavery or, telling trans people that they don't deserve to exist or that gay people can't marry the people that they love. Like, there's no logical argument that needs to be presented on that side. You can just say that they hate these people for existing and they can go fuck themselves. Like, that's a perfectly rational thing to say.
I agree with you 100%. I hate the idea that when the people talk about both sides, it genuinely drives me fucking nuts. Hey, there shouldn't be two sides of this. Like, there should be the truth, and that should be the side that we look at. There's going to be difference of opinion about how we arrive at the overall good, right? Like if we're
Right.
But the problem with the debate culture in our country currently is, and we can talk about, well, we want to have honest discussions that, about both sides. Well, yeah, but first of all, you have to have the same goal. Like, y'all have a different fucking goal. We're never going to agree because y'all's fucking goal is different. If we're not trying to argue about how we best serve the needs and the will and the good and the interest of the people as a whole, we might as well be fucking speaking two different languages.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, the problem we got in our way for us. We have no grounding principles on what we're trying to get at. Nobody knows what they're fucking trying to get at anymore. The goal is obliterated. And I think until we get back to an idea of like what our foundational goals and truths are going to be and what we're working toward, we're just fucking drowning. Like we're drowning in a puddle of water on the sidewalk because we won't fucking stand up and get out of it. It's fucking stupid. That's the problem I have with debate culture is they try to they try to debate the morality of abortion versus the what it serves. And if we're going to make laws have to answer certain questions. It's written in the framework. Does it make a cage or does it grow liberty? Does it expand freedom or does it make a cage? And if it's making a cage, it doesn't count. Like, you have to throw it out. And it can't be the morality of it. You can't legislate morality because there's always somebody that's going to be more pious or more religious than you. So you have to frame it, and nobody wants to frame anymore because debate culture sells, and that's both sides. That's Dean Withers and Ben Shapiro and the older millennial guy and fucking Destiny and the whole bunch. Like, none of them are having conversations. They're all wanting to debate each other because clicks make dollars and it sells, and that's how you pack arenas and college campuses with kids that want to argue with each other. Conversations that end in real problem solving don't fucking sell tickets. That's just how we solve problems, and that I think is my fear as far as where we're headed as a culture. Is we've lost the thread. What we're actually trying to accomplish. It's about winning that particular conversation in that moment and not trying to improve the overall picture.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think because obviously I agree with you. It feels like we're on the super highway down that path to where there's no exits. Like, we're just blasting as fast as possible to the easiest and the most convenient way to discuss politics. I was just trying to think of like what was there before the internet? Is it just newspaper? Is it just like Walter Mondale going on like what were those talk shows?
Walter Cronkite.
Right, Walter Cronkite. Like, going on some like random series.
Well, there was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. There was just obstacles to speech. Like, you had free speech, but you had not everybody had the ability to have a platform. And now with the internet, everybody has that ability to have a platform. So, like, who you gave a platform to was severely, severely curtailed, and they made sure that it was somebody that was going to hopefully resonate with the most amount of people in the most palatable fashion, and that's where you got the Walter Cronkite and so on. And then it started to erode with the reversal of fairness doctrine and AM radio, where they started being able to just they started to get a little bit more liberty with who they could give platforms to, and you started to get any idiot kind of get a platform, and then you got cable news, and as long as you could pay for it, you could give any any idiot a platform, and then when the internet rolled along, then everybody had one, and obviously it's gotten out of control to the point where now you can just go find the person who's saying the thing that you want to hear, and you can put yourself in a little echo chamber and a bubble that never challenges your identity, your beliefs, and you will soon believe that the entire world thinks the way you do, and everybody who doesn't is fucking insane. And so, like, that's where I think it got from. Sometimes, having some obstacles to a platform of free speech is maybe not necessarily a terrible thing.
You used to have groups of people that were both against the government, that both, who Gore Vidal is? He's a writer, a progressive,
Yeah.
60s, 70s. He would have these debates. I can't remember the other guy's name. It's terrible that I can't. But they were both not really anti-government, but they were both kind of against the establishment, right? And so they argued with each other on television about how to best arrive at these things. But they had structure to it, and they were arguing toward the same goal and how to best arrive there. And I think that people saw themselves in one side or the other on that. And so but they were educated men that I think had a good, they had a good goal. Their intentions were good. With the advent of CNN and the 24-hour news cycle, it became about making money. When it was just 30 minutes at the end of the day and then 30 minutes at 6 o'clock, that's what made Walter Cronkite and them real journalists, and Dan Rather and those guys. Whenever they had 30 minutes to present the news, it had to be right. And calling yourself a newsman or a journalist carried a certain amount of honor and respect at the time. It's to call yourself a news company or to have a news license, there was integrity in it. And now, Fox News doesn't even have a news license. Like, they're under no obligation to tell you the truth, other than it's going to cost them money if they commit libel. It's but they still call themselves Fox News. Newsmax doesn't have a news license. It's just a fucking opinion network, but they get to call themselves news, and people equate the two, and they have this expectation still. And I think that's where maybe our parents' generation gets lost in it, is that they have the expectation of truth and news. And so when they watch a Fox News, they take everything as fact. They don't appreciate the nuance of opinion shows versus a real news broadcast. And when they get that, they just take it as fact. They just digest it that way. Whereas our generation is a little more, let me go check that out. Like, that doesn't sound right,
We had to learn what primary sources were because we grew up in the era of early Wikipedia, and our teachers were like, nope, can't use that shit, And I think that really is the difference there.
I also have this rare thing anymore of, I don't take anybody's word for shit. Like, I want to see it on paper. If something, even if something sounds good, also, I think in our world, you do not want somebody to be able to come back and prove you wrong, or especially when it exists in the real world on the internet, and here you are just saying the wrong thing or something, and with your whole chest as if it's fact. So I fact check, double fact check. There's not, I will say, any of the presentations that I give or essays that I write, the opinion part you may be able to disagree with, but I promise you the facts are good. Like, the information is solid. And I think that's why I probably don't get a lot of hate. I just get a lot of, sounds like a liberal to me. Like, yeah, 100%. That's a you ding ding bingo, buddy.
Yep. Just like Trump saying smart people don't like me. Yeah, you got it. Good job.
Yeah. So, I think that's a lot of the problem, is the way we frame news, the way in which we deliver it, and the expectations haven't changed for what they're going to get. Not for us. We have that expectation that it's bullshit, but a lot of the older voters don't. Um, they think CNN's bullshit because Trump told them it was, but you know, whatever.
That is the hard thing that like drives me nuts about this is they will take the news source that fits their confirmation bias as solid fact because it's news and they were taught to bring up and just trust everything a man in a suit on television tells you to believe. But then that man tells you that the other news station doing not even as bad of the same thing because at least they have some obligation to the truth at CNN. I mean, it's still punditry and it's still trash, but it's based in some form of objective reality. And they're like, nope, that's bullshit because this man in the suit on the TV told me it was, and therefore everything he says is right and everything they say is wrong. And oh, you're an idiot if you're just quoting CNN. I'm like, motherfucker, nobody has watched CNN in 30 fucking years. Like, I don't watch CNN. I don't know anybody who does watch CNN.
I catch a little bit of CNN if
Like in an airport or something, and it just happens to be on the wall.
Sometimes I will. I'll watch. I'll catch Wolf Blitzer to just get a rundown. Like if and sometimes you just need to see what other people's arguments are going to be for a minute. I certainly don't turn to CNN for news and information. No. Like it's more of the trending topic kind of thing of how are people framing things. And look, I read the Fox News headlines just to see what they're getting. Like what is what's out there. Look, I will say this though: the world is a better place at Fox News. I tell you what, if you watch,
oh my god,
you turn on Fox News for an hour and you feel really good about. If you can make yourself believe that shit, you know,
everything is the immigrants' problem. Everything is their fault. Like it's crazy how they take away all personal responsibility and just like don't worry about it. You know,
economy's doing great. There's inflation's down. It's okay to kill homeless people now. You know, whatever makes you feel good.
And don't pay attention to what it's costing you at the grocery store. That's just a you thing.
I think if you think you're spending more at the grocery store, you're a liberal cuck who believes in
you don't remember how much eggs used to cost. Like, Jesus Christ,
the gaslighting is impressive.
Have you seen the people that have the egg charts? Like they track the cost over the last 2 years of the essential groceries, and it's just like this is fucking incredible. And then I'll see where conservatives are like, that's not true. I was paying $2.65. I mean, I think this person is putting a lot of effort into this to just, I mean, it'd be weird to just fucking lie about it to make you,
right? Something that's verifiable in the real world. But then again, facts don't matter anymore.
But it's verifiable with them liberal facts that you get on CNN, so they're not real facts. You know, the real facts are what I remember. Fox News told me to remember about.
I don't feel like those are good facts. You know?
The vibes with that group is otherworldly. Mm-hmm. I think that's the most surprising thing to me is the willingness. And I guess everybody has a little bit of confirmation bias. There are times where I hear things like, God, I hope that's true, but let me go find out. And then of course it's not. Yeah. Like, okay, well, whatever.
Always disappointing moments because you're like, oh man, today's going to be a good day. And then you get there and you're like, oh, and bummer.
You know, I think the Charlie Kirk, the kid, the Reynolds kid, I think that's an excellent example of both sides doing a very poor job of delivering information and just delivering information that they think their base wants to hear, you know, without any real confirmation either way. Because it was so back and forth every day of, oh, he's a Nick Fuentes guy, or he's got a transgender partner. It's just, putting the facts and the reality together was so difficult in that thing that I was like, I'll just wait till they fucking.
It's still not really clear. Like, you know, you think
and
like
we're never gonna know.
Yeah, we'll never. At this point, it's impossible to know I think.
Right, because
Well,
the FBI seems like they're making shit up as they go about it to try to fit a narrative too, and then you get fucking. I mean, look at the kid who shot at Donald Trump, and then we never heard a thing about him again, about like what his background was, where he came from, because it didn't fit. Uh, I don't think it fit nice and neatly into a narrative that anybody really wanted to push, because it's not like this was your guy or your guy. It was just like just an idiot who
Uh,
the system created.
when I saw the text messages that they expect me to believe that a young kid wrote,
Yeah.
it's like, first of all, it sounds like a 60-year-old man wrote those text messages,
Mm-hmm.
trying to sound like a
60-year-old
20-year-old.
cop, to be specific.
Yeah,
Like
vehicle, squad car. Like, okay, man,
they're
calm
doing a sweep of the area.
down. 0800, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is. The only way you could have told it was a real conversation is if you didn't understand half of it. Like if you're like, hey, can we get we need a Gen Zer over here, a Zennial to fucking translate this for us. Then I would have believed that it was probably a real text conversation. There's no fuck. Like, the audacity and the blatancy with which they do this shit now is just.
It's wild. Like
You wake
absolutely
up every
wild.
day and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, what cosmic bet did I lose that this is, that, I used the Voltaire best of all possible. Like, if this is the best of all possible, what the fuck? What the fuck didn't make it? Like, which part didn't fucking, make the cut that this is where we're at? And
No.
surely to God, this had to be.
It's
Go ahead.
purgatory, man. It's just we're living lost. It was just COVID was our airplane or something, or like something happened, and now we're all dead and we just don't know it. We're living in this like purgatory hellscape. A polar bear is gonna show up for no reason at any moment. Like it's gonna happen.
It's a Jacob's Ladder scenario. We are just uh I wanted to make a post. I started writing a thing about all these people that think that they're getting raptured today or tomorrow, and
God, I hope that for our sake they are too. Like,
I
please,
told one of my friends.
for the love of God, Jesus, come get your boys, because we are tired.
I think he's like, I don't fucking want them. What are you talking, my boys? Like,
right.
You created these people.
I was gonna write a thing. It was like, hey, and I was just gonna put it out on Wednesday and be like, hey, since that didn't happen, can y'all shut the fuck up now? Like, can we just one of two things is true. Either everything that you've based your life on is inaccurate, or you were doing so poorly that you didn't get selected. So fucking get out of the car and let us drive for a little bit. You sit over there and be quiet. And eat your fucking Funyuns, and then let the grown-ups have conversations for a little while.
I just wish for once those people who cry so much about freedom and liberty and the Constitution would just one time take their own words, think about them for a moment and understand that what they're trying to do as a group is antithetical to what they say they stand for in every way. Like, if there was just a moment of clairvoyance, I think the world could potentially be a lot better.
that moment's not ever coming.
You're asking for a lot there.
It's quite possible.
I wish that we could take that group of people, a few at a time, whatever. Look, I think that there are some creators that are on the internet that would probably be very good at this, yourself included. Both of you are very well spoken and obviously get it, and actually framed real conversations that were, hey, let's just talk about it. Forget this like unfuck America thing where we're going to go debate college kids that disagree with us. Like, let's go have real conversations that are, hey man, these are the facts. Like, this is where we start from. Like, none of this shit's cut and dry, but at least let's have conversations that have a common end. The scary thing is that they have no interest in really doing that. Like, that's what I think is is the scarier part. Is they just want to live in this world where everything they do is okay, everything's justified, and they can.
That's
They,
really it's the frustrating thing is because every time I have these conversations with these people and they present some bullshit talking point that they've heard from Trump or Fox News or whatever it is that they're getting, some Facebook meme is usually what it is that was like clearly labeled satire and they just believed it. And I will be like, that's not true. Here is why it's not true. Here is why if you took 3 seconds to think about it logically, you would realize it is incredibly fucking stupid to even have considered this as truth. And they're like, yeah, well, no, we'll just have to agree to disagree. We can all have our own opinions. I'm like, no, the fuck you can't. This is not a matter of opinion. You can have your own opinions, but opinions and facts are two separate things. And the fact that you just think that your ignorant ass opinions are as good as objective fact is the fucking problem, and that I cannot abide.
it is so frustrating to hear people that are so entrenched in their own bullshit or in the bullshit of the people they follow and worship, so to speak, that even in the if y'all dealt with these people that talk about the amount of money that tariffs are bringing in, it's like, we've raised almost $1 trillion in tariffs.
I actually
Yeah,
have somehow avoided talking to those people in real life.
Yeah, but I mean, you just had a fundraiser. I mean, you had a bake sale at your kid's school to raise money for the fucking uniforms. Like, you're paying for the uniforms. You just bought a cake also for $50. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, what are you talking about? Um, it the the dissociation from reality of what things. I also think that they equate capitalism with like our style. Like, I think that we have. I think that they think we have a capitalist government. Like, that's built into the Constitution, that we are a capitalist government. Because the way they talk about capitalism and the free market versus, well, we're not built to be a socialist. Like, we're not built to be fucking anything. Like, we're a democracy.
We don't have an economic system built into our government.
Nobody
But they also
wrote
don't
that
understand.
for us.
They also don't understand what socialism or communism or capitalism or fascism.
No.
They don't understand any of the isms. They don't know what a single ism is. They're just like, this ism good, that ism bad, and if I don't like you, you're the bad ism.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, describe the bad ism, and they're like, yeah, it just means you don't get any rights and you're not free, and that's not good in America because freedom.
I also don't think
Excellent
they
logic,
understand the
Cletus.
messiness of freedom. Like, goddamn, it's so absurd. And maybe these people should have to live under some sort of controlled environment. Like, you, sir, don't get to have you got to earn it. So we're going to make you take some tests. Very much like a citizenship test. Like, I need you to understand what's happening here, and then once you pass that, you can graduate to liberty with the rest of us. And then, but until then, you get to be in the kindergarten class and very, very heavily monitored
Yeah.
till you can get it figured out.
Yeah.
He's got to go right off the bat. Sorry, these are my musings that I have daily, usually with myself.
Hey, I enjoy having them with you here.
Yeah.
I've been one who I'm vehemently against literacy tests for voting because obviously they're traditionally used to exclude minority groups, black people, from having access to democracy. But like, the older I get, the more I'm like, I actually think that the black people might have the edge on this one, and it may be advantageous at this point to retry literacy tests again.
I think that we don't require enough of our candidates. Like, I can appreciate that anybody can run and that there are certain restrictions on being able to run, but I think that
you should be able to pass a civics test. Like, if you don't have a fundamental understanding of how government works, what the fuck are you doing being allowed to run government?
I think that you should, from the moment that you submit your candidacy, you should have to submit your proposals in writing. Like, this is this is my plan of action. Much like you would have to do if you were fucking applying for a business loan or anything. Like
Yeah,
this is
a business
uh,
plan.
uh
I need to submit a
yeah,
business plan for them to. Yeah.
this is my plan. This is what I intend to do. This is how I intend to do it. I think that the conversations and debates should be scored. Um, i.e., like if you don't answer the question, you don't get credit for that
Yeah.
answer. And so it would hold not only that candidate to account, but it would make the people that support that candidate be like,
I
hey,
actually like
answer the
that.
question. We're not, if
Yeah.
we're going to be a sports culture with politics, let's fucking dive into it all the way.
No, no, I like that. Give an objective winner to a debate. Like
Yeah.
if your answer can be fact checked and found incorrect in real time, you don't get a point for it. If you just don't answer the question, you don't get a point for it.
Uh,
Um, you
if you
know.
answer it straight up, score it like boxing, right? Like
Hmm.
round one goes to whoever. I think that makes one, it shows people who's really willing to have the conversations and who's not. And it takes a lot of the political legalese out of it. I also think that you should be under oath while you're in office. If you lie, you fucking, that's perjury.
I like
And
that.
um,
Although it
I just
seems
don't
like
think we
perjury
require enough.
is just a thing we do now because Cash Patel fucking.
It's the fucking
Oh yeah,
expectation.
Epstein never trafficked anybody. That's clearly perjury. Like we know that there's legal documents where he was convicted or like people associated with him are convicted of trafficking. You just committed perjury in front of the entire country and it's like but who's gonna hold him accountable for it?
I also think that the idea of like, oh, well, it's national, uh, it's a national security issue. Well, then you need to go off, like you need to, on record, you need to have a conversation with the lawmakers and explain the situation, much like you would do in a court of law. Here's the odd one that people look at me crazy. I think that there should be a citizens council that the Supreme Court's answerable to. If we
Absolutely.
don't like
I mean,
it,
we need some sort of accountability for the Supreme Court.
I think they should have to argue their case on merit to a group of people that is selected like a jury pool. Like it's just this is who it is. Submit, present your case, the constitutionality of it, and they'll say good or not good. And I don't think for everything, but I think there needs to be a guardrail there that they don't have absolute authority. Because I think
I
what we're
mean,
running into, what Montesquieu tried to guard against, was that separation of powers would always work because they would always be in contention with each other. Well, I don't think they were well, I know Montesquieu wasn't expecting the collusion,
mhm.
oh, now we've got the House, the Senate, the
Well,
executive branch, and we've got a
this is
rubber stamping Supreme
right.
Court.
This is
You
what's
can do anything you
wild
want.
though, is because like the system did work even under Reagan. When Reagan had all the branches of government, um, you know, Congress wanted to maintain its own power, and that's usually like what you'd expect. They were banking on greed, people having that incessant need to want to control as much power as they personally can get, and pitting those three groups against each other. It worked even because Republican Congress voted against Reagan's overreach of executive authority multiple times, especially when it came to like budgetary stuff. You know, Congress controls the purse strings, and that is their biggest lever of power, and they have guarded that incredibly tightly. And the fact that like we've gotten to this point now where all of them are just getting on their knees and opening their throat for the executive branch is wild.
It makes me wonder, and I'm not saying there's anything to it, but there has to be some amount of information that they're able to hold over these people, because it's not just about support supporting him for the sake of supporting or garnering his favor because he's gonna, you know, primary you doesn't even make sense anymore. Because he's done at the end of this anyway, right? Like you don't have any reason to garner favor with him or that administration. You can quite literally, you at this point, you better be worried about your job, losing it to a fucking Democrat or independent or anybody else. Uh, so I feel like there has to be something there that is.
Bet you it's in them Epstein files.
I'm sure it is. You hate to say that out loud, but you know, I think that
Oh
that's
no, at this
100%
point,
what it is.
I'm loving saying it every day. This is the one
Yeah.
thing. This is the one thing that has finally been because again, all this conversation that we've had and all the conversations that we have with our audiences about policy and social issues and just politics in general, um, is nuance. And the people that are fucking it up for us do not understand even basic nuance, right? And this is the one time where we've had because every single time it's been Hillary's emails, Hunter Biden's laptop, um whatever, Obama's birth certificate. It was always just a bumper sticker thing where they're like, this is bad for some reason. I don't really understand what's going on, but I can say that. And therefore, conversation's done. Your people are bad. And they built this up on this Epstein thing for so long that the Epstein stuff is bad. Epstein's a pedophile. We want to go hunt pedophiles because we've got murder fantasies and shit and all that. And Trump's going to release the Epstein files, and now he gets there, and it's like, oh, he's not releasing them, and they've got nothing to come back with. They already associate this is a bad thing. The Epstein files are bad, and I never calculated for this moment where now I need to defend my stance about this against the people I thought I was going to be using this against. So it's now every fucking conversation. I no longer need to have those nuanced conversations or try to with these people. It's just like, you support a fucking pedophile. It's in the Epstein
That's
file.
the,
It's like,
of course, but they don't even give a shit. Like, it doesn't, they don't even care. It's just, I still get to support my guy. He's still my guy. And I'm okay with it. They have to reconcile with that. At some point, though, they're going to have to reconcile with that. And that's, I don't know how they're going to do it. I really don't. But it will be interesting.
on,
Or it won't, because we'll never see anything and fuck them. And then everybody just keeps doing the same shit they've always done.
right. On the bright side, I think, because I don't expect a lot of these people to publicly change their minds or opinions or vote differently. But what I do think this is being effective at is disillusioning them. Like, between the economic issues where it's like shit's more expensive, you really can't argue. You can try to pretend that it's not, but all of us are spending more for less. The farmers are, especially in your state right now, obviously getting hit hard. In Iowa, they're getting hit hard. Around me, they're all getting hit hard because of these tariffs. You can't argue that. Like, when they can't sell their grain, that's a done issue right there. Um, it's disillusioning these people to not vote, to not be engaged, to not be involved, to shut the fuck up because they're embarrassed by it a little bit, to be publicly still in favor of this stuff, and let them slink into the background, crawl back underneath their rock, not go to the polls. That's all we need. We don't need to convert them. We just need to make them feel embarrassed to be themselves publicly.
I told a group the other day that if you would just, if you really want something to complain about, like, vote Democrat, and then you can bitch the whole time. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you can fucking complain till you're blue in the face. If you could just vote Democrat and get these motherfuckers out of there, because currently y'all don't have anything to complain. Like, what do you got everything you wanted, right? Like, you should be the happiest motherfuckers on the planet. So interesting that that they're not, because shit's still sideways. And Tylenol causes autism.
Right.
Thank you so much for
Taylor, nice to
joining
meet
us.
you, man.
You too.
Robert,
You too.
just tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm on TikTok at Defiance13, Instagram at Defiance13_. And then I've got YouTube is Robert Arnold, Substack is Robert L. Arnold. That's where the longer form stuff is, the philosophy of freedom and the deep dives into the governance theories are going to be on there. And then the podcast stuff is going to be on those two. And then Facebook is Robert Arnold. Those are the ones right now. And then the book is available anywhere you buy books. So
Yeah, I was going to talk to you
that's
about your
it.
book. We never even made it to that. We're going to have you back on here
And
because it's a good
I
conversation.
get tangential real bad. I just run at the mouth. I can't help it. I apologize.
We're not much better about it. So you put both of us together here, and it's going to get bad. Thank you everybody else for tuning in and watching. I hope you enjoyed our tangential conversations. They definitely run away, but if you've been listening to us for any length of time, you're used to that now. Once again, we appreciate you just listening, watching the show if you do that on YouTube, and giving us the opportunity to talk to just amazing guests like Robert here. It's really cool for us, and we only get to do it because you guys, pay attention to us rambling on about shit. If you do want to support us financially, there's merch at offjoewagon.com. You can get Let Them Eat Toast podcast merch there, as well as my own channel merch. There's subscriptions, memberships available on YouTube, Patreon, the works, and there's ways in my link tree to just give us money if that's what you want to do. But once again, our favorite thing is just the fact that you find what we have to say worth listening to, and we appreciate you being here. And we will see you guys next week.